This week on ANN, Seventh-day Adventist Church President Ted Wilson expresses sympathy during the recent Nepal devastation.
The Seventh-day Adventist Church in North America calls for peace in the U.S. state of Maryland amid violent protests.
And the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Zambia celebrates reaching 1 million members.
These stories and more coming up.
This is ANN, a service of the Seventh-day Adventist World Church. Thank you so much for joining us this week.
First in the news, Seventh-day Adventist Church President Ted Wilson this week responded to the tragic earthquake in Nepal that struck on April 25 and killed more than 5,000 people. The earthquake was the worst the nation has experienced in 80 years. In a statement, Elder Wilson said, "The human suffering breaks our hearts and moves us with deep sympathy for the thousands of families who have experienced loss." Wilson went on to say, "May this be an opportunity to show Christ's ministry of love and compassion in all that we do as we see more of these disasters happening, signaling the nearness of Christ's return." To read the full statement, visit news.adventist.org.
Church leaders in the Southern Asia region are soliciting prayers for the thousands who have been affected by the massive 7.9 magnitude earthquake that struck Nepal last Saturday. The president of the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Nepal told the Adventist Review about numerous scenes of pain and panic throughout the region as a result of the earthquake. The region's chapter of the Adventist Development and Relief Agency has deployed personnel to assist local food shelters. ADRA International has also procured various resources to help locals build shelter. Early estimates reveal that 1.4 million people are in need of food assistance, and of those people, 750,000 are living in poor housing conditions. Sandra Golding has more on how you can assist ADRA's relief efforts.
The main way that the average church member can help is to donate cash. People may say, well, why donate cash? Why can't we go and help? But in these situations, cash helps because we can actually purchase the actual equipment and materials that are actually needed. We can actually get the equipment such as the tarps and the tents to the actual people rather than people donating things and them not being what we actually need. One of the things we're doing at ADRA is encouraging people to go to adra.org and to donate through our website. We're currently working with the churches to get a bulletin announcement so people can actually put that in their bulletins for this Sabbath. We're also working on a PowerPoint presentation that people can actually look and see what is happening in Nepal, and that will also refer them to our website. If they want additional information, if they contact our church engagement team, then they can actually give them that information.
Hundreds of people in the U.S. state of Maryland are expressing frustration over the death of Freddie Gray, a 25-year-old man who died from a severe spinal cord injury in police custody shortly after his arrest earlier this month. While a few of the demonstrations in Baltimore have been violent, there has been a strong presence of local residents who have participated in peaceful marches and cleanup efforts throughout the city. The Seventh-day Adventist Church in North America this week expressed its deepest condolences to the family of Freddie Gray and called for peace in West Baltimore. In a statement released Tuesday, the church said, "In order to bring about change, we must engage in open, honest, civil, and productive conversation about the rights and equality of every member of our community." The statement went on to say, "To bring a lasting peace, we, as a church community, must also descend on Baltimore with the love and compassion that Jesus modeled for us, not just now during this time of turmoil, but in the years to come." To read the full statement, visit news.adventist.org.
Seventh-day Adventist pastors have also joined marches and coordinated efforts with pastors from various faiths to restore peace in Baltimore. David Franklin, pastor of the Miracle Temple Seventh-day Adventist Church in Baltimore, shared his experience during a recent peaceful protest.
Well, anybody who's watching the news right now can see that what's happening in Baltimore is a travesty. And so as a pastor in Baltimore and part of that community, I wanted to be part of helping to give calm to the situation. We went out and marched with over 200 pastors, and we were able, at least in that moment, to create a buffer between the police and those who were out in the streets to ensure that neither were harmed. And so it was a great experience.
Now, Julio, at the time of this recording the night before, you were actually at a town hall meeting
Yes,
with clergy
that's right.
in Baltimore. Tell us about that experience.
It was a very uplifting and a very emotional evening. You had nearly 500 clergy of all faiths, of all colors, races, representing the Baltimore community there, trying to find a peaceful way forward. And then at the town hall meeting, you heard story after story, heartbreaking stories from the community of their real life, the challenges that they face. And it gave you a really different perspective on the situation there than what we may see in the mainstream media. So it was a really moving experience, but really encouraging to see that it was people of faith that are trying to find a peaceful way forward, and that Adventists are a part of that movement.
That's awesome that you have these faith leaders coming together for that cause.
Yes, absolutely.
Happy to hear about it. The president of Zambia joined the Seventh-day Adventist Church in the nation last week as it celebrated reaching the 1 million member threshold. President Edgar Lungu and other government officials attended the service at the Heroes National Stadium in the nation's capital. Zambia is the 4th country in the world to surpass 1 million members of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. The Communication Department of the Seventh-day Adventist Church in the Southern Africa Indian Ocean region sent this report.
Zambia Union Mission started in 1972 when it was organized with a membership of only 8,000.
When I served God's people in Zambia in 1995, the membership was below 80,000. To see that within the past 20 years, the church has mushroomed and marshaled by the Holy Spirit to bring so many people to the faith is remarkable.
Our lay persons own the work. They are part and parcel of the work. We have lay persons, for example, right here in Lusaka. I can talk of more than 40 lay persons who conduct one crusade, at least one crusade per year, without anyone paying them for doing that or urging them to do that. They do it on their own.
Zambia is a blessed nation indeed. Zambia is a peaceful nation, and we need to count the blessings of the Lord. As we celebrate the 1 millionth membership, we need to be champion of the love of God and the love for our fellow men.
More than 300 people recently participated in one of the largest health expos operated by the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Costa Rica. The event was held at an upscale shopping mall in Cartago, Costa Rica. Shoppers had an opportunity to get health screenings, learn about nutrition, listen to a free Christian concert, and browse literature on healthy living. Attendees received a free copy of the 2015 Seventh-day Adventist Health Missionary book entitled Health and Wellness: Secrets That Will Change Your Life. According to organizers, many of the attendees requested to take Bible study lessons. Organizers plan to host larger health expos in cities in Costa Rica and Nicaragua.
More than 200 pastors in the Dominican Republic have been equipped to be emergency responders in preparation for hurricane season, thanks to a Seventh-day Adventist humanitarian agency. The 209 ministers received training earlier this month through a program by the Adventist Development and Relief Agency in the nation. The island experiences heavy rainfall and severe thunderstorms during hurricane season. The effects of the storm can sometimes lead to outbreaks of potentially fatal diseases, such as dengue fever and cholera. The 2-day intensive program was the first training in the nation to equip church pastors to manage security and communication in the event of emergencies. Pastors also planned outreach services that will positively impact their local communities.
Coming up, are you a runner? Are you a walker? Well, you can find out where you can register for an upcoming race against childhood obesity. We'll be right back.
Most U.S. adults don't know if they are consuming too much sodium in their diet, and many don't even care. The International Food Information Council found that 70% of the 1,003 U.S. adults surveyed did not know what the dietary guidelines for sodium were. 59% were not concerned about their sodium intake, despite the fact that most Americans are consuming twice as much sodium as recommended. That's a fact, but there's hope. Try reducing your daily consumption to less than 2,300 milligrams of sodium, or less than 1,500 milligrams if you are over 51 African American of any age, or if you suffer from hypertension, kidney disease, or diabetes. The good news is that taste for salt is acquired. By gradually cutting down on processed foods and adding salt to your foods, your taste buds will adjust. And so will your blood pressure.
In high school, we had a recital one year. Teenage musicians, they were already pretty good at what they did. There was one musician, though, that struggled from the beginning. His fingers stumbled and they were all on top of each other. You could see his frustration building until at one point he just lifted both of his hands and dropped them, pounded on the keyboard. It's like we heard every note all at the same time. The music teacher joined the student on the stage. He said to him, "You know, sometimes we just need a do-over. We need to start fresh." One way of thinking about baptism is a fresh start. Baptism acknowledges where I am, but it announces where I'm going. It's a priority to live life with God, no matter where I've been, what I've done, what I've thought about doing. Baptism isn't to make us perfect. It's to announce a priority to live first with God. Even though that recital was long ago, I'll always remember because the teacher walked off the stage with the student and entered again and sat down beside him. The teacher said to the student, "Now start over, and I'll stay right here with you." And what we heard was simply beautiful.
Welcome back, and now for more news from our global church community.
Registration is almost closed for the Instep for Life 5K fun run in San Antonio, Texas. The race will take place July 5th during the upcoming General Conference session. The purpose of the race is to raise awareness of childhood obesity and to encourage people of all ages to live a more active lifestyle. The race is sponsored by the Health Ministries Department of the Seventh-day Adventist Church and the Seventh-day Adventist Church in North America. Dr. Katja Reinert has more.
So for people to participate in the 5K race, it's very simple. They can go online to the website instepforlife.com, and then there they can click and register, because everybody needs to pre-register. Registration goes through May 31st, so it's important that they register, and then they just show up. So registration for the 5K ends on May 31st, so they need to go online and register through that date.
A representative from the Seventh-day Adventist Youth Department was able to attend a Pathfinder camporee in Myanmar for the first time in the nation's history. Leaders from the Seventh-day Adventist Church in the Southern Asia Pacific Division said that recent changes in the Myanmar's political climate has opened the nation's borders to visitors from different countries. This change allowed Jonathan Tahel, Associate Youth Director of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, to travel to Myanmar to address the 600 Pathfinders during the camporee last month. During the Fulfilling Your Destiny Union-wide camporee, Tahel encouraged Pathfinders to live their faith in the midst of challenging circumstances. The Pathfinders also enjoyed honor classes, drill team presentations, various activities, and an evening program that showcased Myanmar's rich culture.
Global representatives from Hope Channel, the official broadcast network of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, recently discussed ways to revise the network's logo. The following video was used to launch the new logo in South America.
One day someone asked me, what is the most important thing in my life? I must confess that I appreciate lots of things, but none of them you can actually buy. Life, happiness, family, friends. I don't know if you are like me, but if I had to choose one thing, I would choose memories. Oh, the memories. Those memories you cannot just collect in a photo album, places, or videos. They come up like dreams that seem to be unreachable, described with a feeling of achievement. But I'm not here to say that it's good to live in the past. Memories are created every day, and even though changes may happen, the essence is still the same. What was in the past will still be in the future. Sometimes it's good to remember the beginning. Memories are good, they live a sense of longing. But life goes on, and tomorrow will bring hope for happier days. Therefore, we have to wish for new memories. Novo Tempo Communication Network, a new time for you.
The Seventh-day Adventist Church in the Southern Asia-Pacific region recently began its distribution of the denomination's missionary book for 2015. The distribution of the book entitled Health and Wellness, Secrets That Will Change Your Life began during the church's Global Health Impact Day. 5,000 copies of the book will be distributed in the Philippines over the next 7 months. The remaining 5,000 books will be distributed in 12 countries in the region that don't have a strong Christian presence.
And finally in the news this week, hundreds of young adults in the U.S. state of Texas were inspired to make Jesus the center of their lives and to be change agents in local communities. More than 1,100 people attended the 4th annual Young Adult Festival of Worship in the city of Arlington. Hundreds more attended through the festival's live streaming service. The festival featured powerful Christ-centered messages and moving musical performances. Attendees also partnered with Mission Arlington, which is a Christian-based agency that serves the local community. The young adults shared songs, smiles, and popsicles with local children and spread the joy of God's love. Organizers said it was refreshing and encouraging to see so many young adults with a passion for worship and a willingness to serve their community for Christ.
Still ahead, see how you can live stream your church's events for free.
But up next, find out what's in the latest edition of Adventist World magazine.
I was once in the town of Ljubljana in Slovenia. Across the river was a bridge where romantics from all over the world attached love padlocks with their names written on. These locks were locked and the keys thrown away to signify their eternal love for one another. Padlocks rust, people change, relationships end, but Jesus' love is everlasting.
I pray for my family to be safe. That we're thankful for what we have. I pray for the people who are sick will heal and feel better. I pray for my parents to be safe, and I pray for my brother, and that God gives us a blessing. Please pray at 7 in the morning and at 7 in the evening and 7 days a week.
And welcome back. Gerald Klingbeil has a preview for the current issue of Adventist World magazine.
Imagine feeding 5,000 times 500,000 people with 2.5 billion different tastes and preferences. That's a tall task. This month's cover story tells about the Big Four project run by the Adventist International Institute of Advanced Studies in the Philippines that attempted just that. It sought to prepare 60 creative mission leaders to reach the 4 largest unreached population groups located in the 1040 window, including Buddhists, Chinese, Muslims, and urban dwellers. Check out the story and look at some of the samples of creative and contextualized ways of communicating the eternal gospel to them. But we've got more in stock for you. Bill Crick shares 10 reasons he wants to go to heaven. Hint, reason number 1 has to do with a special face-to-face encounter. In The Incomparable Christ, Harold Alomia, lead pastor of the College View Church at Union College in Nebraska, helps us focus upon our Savior and upon His ministry for us. Jesus is truly all to us. This month's Adventist Life Story by Maria Lombard looks at the experience of pain. Can pain be a gift? Can it help us walk more closely to Jesus, our pain bearer? You will enjoy finding answers to these questions. If you're more interested in church history, this month's Discovering the Spirit of Prophecy piece will keep you reading. In an article entitled The Camp Meeting Years 1869 to 1881, Rule Almocera reviews these 12 crucial years in the ministry of Ellen White, helping us to see her life and legacy more clearly. I hope you will enjoy these articles and many more in this month's issue of Adventist World. As always, you can read us online or in the printed copy that should make it to your postbox in the next days.
For this week's Tech Corner, John Beckett shares the benefits of using YouTube as a live broadcasting service.
There are now a lot of options for live streaming church services. Today we'll explore how YouTube can be used to stream for free and a few issues you should be aware of. First off, the things I like. YouTube streaming is currently free. It can also reliably deliver live videos to phones and desktop browsers. Finally, you can embed the player on your site very easily. Your streamed videos are recorded and stored in YouTube automatically and can be included on an archive page. To get started streaming online with YouTube, I recommend setting up a dedicated Google account and then using that account to log into YouTube. Once you're in YouTube, click on your profile picture, choose Creator Studio, and from there you can create a live event. You can stream live from a Google Hangout using a webcam, or from a computer using free software like Open Broadcaster, or even from a hardware device. YouTube uses a standard way of streaming, so you have plenty of choices for what can connect. One issue you should be aware of is that each live event you create is single use. This is a great thing because the live events are saved in YouTube and can be immediately played after they conclude. The downside, however, is that you need to create a new event for each week and then re-embed the player on your website. Another issue to consider is that since YouTube is a free service, it will recommend other videos at the end of your live event. You may want to continue streaming for a while after the event is done while your visitors are disconnecting. In the end, I have mixed feelings about YouTube streaming. On the one hand, it is free and it's good quality. On the other, it has some drawbacks that include being a bit harder to use and the issue of other videos being presented to your visitors. If you're on a tight budget and have a bit of tech expertise though, it might be something you would like to explore.
And now Angela Taipei shares how you can save some time in social media by creating useful recipes with a website called If This, Then That.
If This Then That is a web-based service that allows users to create chains of simple conditional statements called recipes, which are triggered by changes to other sites. Among the major social media services integrated with If This Then That are Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Reddit, Twitter, Tumblr, YouTube, and Vimeo. Other helpful services you're able to link with are Gmail, Google Calendar and Documents, Dropbox, Buffer, and more. You can find it at ifttt.com. Take some time to scroll through and select pre-existing recipes or create your own. While there are many recipes available to make your personal life easier, you can find others to automate aspects of your social media accounts. Just be careful not to set up everything to be automatic and lose that personal touch. Here are a few of our favorite recipes. If your Facebook profile picture changes, then update your Twitter profile picture too, automatically. This saves you time when you want to keep your profile pictures consistent across all your platforms. You can also save all your tweets in a Google spreadsheet. You can set it up to save all tweets, just the links you tweet, or just tweets containing a specific hashtag. This is especially helpful if you want to track or present what you tweeted during a campaign or on a certain topic. You can set up a recipe to download to Dropbox any photos in which your page is tagged. This is a great way to automatically back up pictures that you or your church are in that others uploaded to Facebook. You could also set up a recipe to share your favorite YouTube videos to Facebook as link posts. The possibilities are endless. Explore recipe options and be creative at ifttt.com. It may make your social media a bit easier.
For our next installment of answering frequently asked questions for the General Conference session, we asked Myron Eiseminger to explain the process of selecting delegates for nominating committee.
Well, taking it from the point of the beginning of the session, on the first day of the session, we dismiss all of the delegates into caucuses by their division or region where they come from. And each of those regions can select 10% of their delegates to be members of the nominating committee. In addition, the representatives coming from the General Conference and its institutions get to select 8%. And then that forms the nominating committee, who then select the nominations that go to the floor of the session.
And now let's turn to David Trim for a look at Adventist history. This week, learn about the humble beginnings of Avondale College in Australia.
This week in Adventist history is notable for firsts in education in Australia and mission in China. On April 28, in 1897, the Avondale School for Christian Workers opened in Cooranbong, north of Sydney, Australia, with 10 students and 4 teachers. That small staff was very talented, for it included veteran church leader and theologian Stephen N. Haskell and H. Camden Lacey, who was beginning a distinguished global career as an Adventist educator. Within a few weeks, enrollment increased to 60. Today, it is Avondale College of Higher Education, which has over 1,500 students. On May 1st, 1859, Eric Pilquist, pioneer missionary in China, was born in Kofala, Sweden. Having become a Baptist in 1881, Pilquist emigrated to the United States in 1888 at age 29, and he briefly attended an Adventist church in Lincoln, Nebraska. But in 1889, he became a Congregationalist pastor in Iowa. 2 years later, he went to China, working for the China Inland Mission. In 1902, Pilquist went back to the US on furlough, and there he was convicted of the truth of the Sabbath, and he became a Seventh-day Adventist. He returned to Henan province in China, where in January 1903 he began work as an Adventist missionary, the first Adventist to work in a Mandarin-speaking province of China. Pilquist raised up the first local Adventist church in China, in the city of Xinyang. Despite ill health, he continued to work in China until his death in Henan province in 1925. That was this week in Adventist history.
Thanks for watching ANN. Join us next week for more news from the headquarters of the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
In the meantime, you can join our global conversation on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can connect with other Adventists worldwide through more stories, photos, and videos. Visit Facebook/Adventist News, Twitter/Adventist Church, and Instagram @Adventist Church.
Our good news for this week comes from 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 17. The passage says, "Now the Lord is the Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom."
That's our program for this week, and remember, you can always visit news.adventist.org for daily news and videos. Till next time, take care.
God bless.